Labour is mounting a bold bid to force the Tories into revealing the impact of Brexit. The party is using an obscure parliamentary rule to get its hands on 58 studies into how leaving the EU will hit different sectors of the economy. Brexit Secretary David Davis has refused to publish the documents, saying it will undermine Britain's negotiating position. So by proposing a humble address, Labour will ask the Queen herself to order the release of the documents. The party claims it will force a binding vote on Wednesday after Prime Minister's questions, and wants pro-EU Tories to defy the government. Shadow Brexit Secretary Sir Keir Starmer said, "This debate is about transparency and accountability. Ministers cannot keep withholding vital information from Parliament about the impact of Brexit on jobs and the economy." Labour recognises the importance of protecting the government's negotiating position with the European Union. However, that does not give ministers the right to impose a blanket ban on publishing any information whatsoever about the economic impact of Brexit. At the start of the negotiations, Theresa May said everyone needed certainty during the Brexit process and that the vote to leave was a vote for Parliament to take back control. If those words meant anything at all, then she should stop sidelining Parliament and give MPs the information they need to properly hold the government to account in what are undoubtedly the most important negotiations since the Second World War. Giving evidence to the House of Lords EU Committee on Tuesday, Mr. Davis repeated the government's position that it would not publish the papers, which he said was backed by MPs in a Commons vote last year. "There was a House of Commons vote in December of last year where we said that we are not required to release anything which undermines the negotiation or the national interest frankly, or the negotiating stance of the British government," he told peers. "That is the reasoning behind it." The impact assessments produced by the Department for Exiting the EU cover industrial sectors ranging from advertising, aerospace and agriculture to telecommunications, textiles and tourism, but Mr. Davis said their importance should not be exaggerated. "I don't think you should overestimate what's in them," he told peers. "They're not economic models of each sector. They are looking at how much of it depends on European Union markets versus other markets, what other opportunities may be, what the regulatory structures are, all those sorts of things that inform the negotiation, but they are not predictions. So I wouldn't overestimate what they are." Parliament's rulebook Erskine May states that each house has the power to call for the production of papers through an address to the sovereign, but notes that the procedure has been used rarely since the middle of the 19th century. Earlier this month a letter signed by 120 MPs called on the Brexit Secretary to publish the impact assessments. Former Tory Cabinet Minister Dominic Grieve has also called for their release. UK General Secretary Francis O'Grady said, "The government must come clean on the impact Brexit will have on people's jobs and livelihoods. It's a poor excuse to say the secrecy is needed for negotiations. The EU27 will have the same information already from work by their own officials. The only people being kept in the dark are the British public. The longer that ministers hide the truth, the more people will believe it's to bury bad news."